Let's talk to Judy now, who is in Toronto. Good evening.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. David, I'm interested in your opinion on Gold Corp, a quality gold producer known for low cost, and I'm noting that it's just recently appearing to be crossing its 200-day moving average, and interested in your opinion on the stock.
Okay. So, Judy, I'll make myself really unpopular tonight because I know the mood of the people. We are uninvested currently in gold. And I think that the pullback that took place early at the end of last year was quite significant. We broke about a 2-year uptrend. The stocks had been underperforming long before the gold rolled over. And the technical damage that's taken place in the gold stocks, I think, is quite significant. So we have no gold positions currently. We have clients who phone us and ask us why, and given the current world order, shouldn't we have some? But we really do try and take cues from the market. I think that technically these stocks have a fair bit of work to do before we would re-enter them. And it's not to say that that won't happen. We just aren't bottom pickers. So I think Goldcorp's a great company. I think they got great assets. I think that in general, a lot of people have shied away from the producers because they've had a difficult time keeping a handle on their costs and in their operations. But as a group, it's a neighborhood that we're just not invested in right now.
What were you owning in the gold sector, and when did you get out officially?
Well, we had a wonderful run over about a 2-year period leading up to the spring of last year. And I think there really was a point in time in April of last year where the market went from aggressive purchasers of commodities and economically sensitive stocks to the switch going off. I mean, literally off. Small and mid-cap stocks that have been leading the market by a long way over the 2 years previous basically went no bid. And that was a very difficult month, the month of April. It certainly cost us a little bit of money. We got hit on our stops, but they certainly gave a bunch back. So we really came out of them at that point. We've dabbled in and out 2 or 3 times over the course of the year unsuccessfully in the group. And I think that at this point, the people who did really well last year were range traders, people who bought dips and sold rallies because of the extreme volatility. That's just not our strategy. And very rarely do you see that kind of volatility. I don't expect to see it again this year. But for in the case of the golds, I think that we're going to have to see some evidence that things are getting swung around, and a bounce in the gold price that is not accompanied by the stocks is probably not one that is going to be enough cue.
I remember those days back in the springtime. It was day after day after day, maybe 3 or 4 days where they just got brutalized, so to speak, commodity stocks, and they never really recovered for the rest of the year, did they?
Well, even on the big rallies, they really didn't participate. So that tells you something. And so maybe things will change this year. Maybe there's another leg higher in them. At this point, to me, it doesn't look like it. I think that the market is showing you on the up days, you're getting big rallies in defensive stocks. That's not what you would expect to be going along with, a big move in gold stocks.
Right. All right, here's Michael, who is in Vancouver. Good evening, sir. Good afternoon, actually.
Good afternoon, Mark. Good afternoon, David. Happy New Year, and thank you for taking my call.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Michael.
David, my question is on Enbridge. Enbridge has, you look at the chart, has gone up very, very strongly. I just wondered if there's more upside with the stock like this. I do own TransCanada. I wonder if there's room to own both. Mm-hmm. And on a personal note, if you could tell us what your largest single holding is, if that's not too aggressive in a question, I'll hang up and listen to your response. Thank you.
So we're talking our sweet spot right now because really this is the best performing part of the market, the pipelines and the midstream energy assets. I think that there's a dynamic taking place in the market that a lot of people are missing, especially the people who historically have been in the industry, in the pipeline industry, because for many years there's been little to no growth. And so you traded a pipeline as the dividend yield versus what you'd get in a bond. And what we've seen take place in the last 2-3 years is this dramatic shift in technology being used to drill for oil and gas. And as a result, in North America, we've got an oil boom going on, and gas. And if you look at the production that's going to come out of North America over the next 10 years, the production profile ramps over the next 7 or 8 years. So the people who are in the way of that volume are going to do a lot more business. So I think that we have, for the first time in a long time, a significant secular growth rate in oil and gas production, and so the pipelines are going to benefit from that. So we think that there is multiple expansion taking place as well as earnings growth, and you're going to see good growth in the dividends. So while there's lots of people who will say they're expensive and they've gone up a lot, and they have, we think that there is additional room for them to go higher. And you see, even on good days in the market, when defensive stocks aren't supposed to rally, these things are coming along, whether it's in Canada or in the U.S. So we like Enbridge, we are holders. With respect to our largest holding, I believe that our largest holding is Interpipe, and it's in the midstream energy space. So we quite like this area of the market. If we can find companies with strong dividends and dividend growth attached to it in this kind of environment, that's what people will purchase.
Others in your top 5 are Provident Energy, Penwest, Keyera, and BCE, parent of this network. Yeah. We will take a short break here, David. We'll come right back. More calls and emails for you on North American large caps. A reminder, though, that you can get the top and past picks sent straight to your inbox. BNN sends those out every night along with analysis from our roster of guests on the Market Call shows. You just have to go to bnn.ca/subscribe, and you can be one of the lucky ones to receive the nightly newsletter.